Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Where were you this past week?
Chicago.
Oh, lovely. My father spends a lot of time in Chicago.
Yeah, true.
We have another engineer here saying, how do you handle overly optimistic folks? Those who commit to deliver too much in an impossibly short time. How do you handle them when senior management loves what they are saying? If I object, I'm seen as not having a positive attitude.
Well, I mean, I love those optimistic folks. I'm an optimistic person myself, but I can imagine you're concerned that if they're committing to what you think are overly optimistic dates, then you're presenting a schedule in which you think is not doable, and that can make you concerned. So let's focus on, first of all, the optimistic aspect of the personalities. As a project manager during the planning phase, you need to have those team members make commitments to those activities, taking responsibility for them, and also give you an estimate of what the duration of those activities are and the level of effort involved in those. If they're making those commitments, they then know that they have to live up to those commitments in front of their peers, since they made those commitments in front of their peers.
Right.
So when the projects, if you believe that they're making overly optimistic durations, now is not the time to say that. What you need to do is fully plan out the project and then take a look at the resource graph to see how they're loading themselves. If they're doing so much work in a short amount of time, then it may show that they're 200% loaded for a significant portion of this project.
Right.
At that point, you can come to them and say, look, what are we going to do about this? Can we stretch out these durations to make sure you're fit? And also, if they're only loaded 50% of your project, they shouldn't be loaded more than that when you finish doing that. So we figure out how to deal with it at that point. But this doesn't answer the problem of if they're optimistic on both their estimates of duration and effort, because it'll still show that they're not loaded. So once again, still not the time to do it during planning. Instead, what you want to do is go through into execution, but manage those people's activities a little closer than you would the others, because you're concerned about it. It's one of those 20% of the activities that are likely to delay the project. So take a look, see how they're doing. Are they starting to come in behind time? Gather your facts. Then come to them with a Gantt chart and say, hey, look, Cassie, it looks like these 3 activities that you said took actually twice as long as expected. Can you tell me why that is? Is there some kind of a systemic reason for this? And at this point you might admit that, I guess I was feeling a little more optimistic. Good. So if it's a systemic problem, why don't we take your future activities, and why don't we double the duration of those as well, because it's likely to continue throughout. Correct. If it's only a one-time cause, what was the one-time cause? Let's see what we can do about preventing that one-time cause from becoming a 2 or 3 or 4-time cause. So that should solve the immediate problem and force them to make better estimates on your projects. Now, regarding the managers who love these optimistic people and their estimates, make sure that they're being fully communicated to on the status report, showing that this happened, here's the impact it had on the project, here's the corrective action we took, here's the new forecast based on that corrective action, so they can see how all the threads are all tied together at the end.
Right. All right. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. For additional information or to sign up for a class, please click on the link.